The truth is, pretty boys hide behind girls. And because of that, other boys see that the pretty boys get the girls, so they inadvertently respect them just because they get something that they usually can't get readily without working hard for it. Does that make sense? So, this can go as far as saying that when we can start paying attention to, again, how we box other people in, then we put an expectation on them, and then we get mad for them for playing out the expectation. As humans, if we're given abundance of too much of anything that we love in the beginning, we're gonna gorge on it. We're gonna binge it. We're gonna do every TV shows, food, whatever. We as humans are consumers. Just admit it, just accept it, it's okay. Once you can get past that and say, okay, I am a consumer, how can I mitigate how much I'm consuming and make sure that I'm not just over here in overconsumption mode just because I can, right? That's gluttony. So we have the actual discipline to say, this is why I don't want to be oversaturated in something, or why I also don't want to feel like I don't have access to something, right? The reason I talk about pretty boys as the example is because they're born that way. Again, we can use, there's a lot, to me, I think all women are beautiful. I know that sounds corny, but they have things that just make them more beautiful in my mind. But when it comes to boys, they get features that are usually not of what we call the standard boy, right? Long eyelashes, lips, pronounced jawline, things like that, that we in society have deemed beautiful. Again, I'm not saying that these things are the beauty standard. I'm saying this is what society has deemed as beauty. I have been going through it my whole life. Again, I know that sounds kind of like, oh, me, poor me. But people say, you're really pretty. You're really pretty. I never knew what that meant. And then they get up close and they're like, oh, your eyelashes, your lips. And in my mind, I'm like, I just look like my mom. That's where I say I get my face from. It's like, it's my mom's face. So that makes sense because my mom is really pretty. But it never dawned on me that that was giving me privileges as a child until I got older and started recognizing that one person next to me who would be very good looking, handsome, but they had standard masculine features, just maybe a broader brow or just more defined cheeks and stronger and wider jaw or neck or something, right? And I could see it. It's not something that I could pretend not to see, but in the pictures, you just look at my features and compared to that person, it's like, you just look pretty. And I used to feel ashamed of that as a kid. I used to feel bad. And it's like, I used to have long hair, and people were like, oh my God, let me touch your hair. You're just so pretty. You're so beautiful. And I didn't know it again, because as a kid, everyone made everything about, you know, homophobia and stuff and being scared of masculine and feminine energy. So they associate, again, soft features with femininity. So instantly I was treated a certain way on top of people just assuming that I was feminine because I was gay. And then it just always got all these stereotypes put on me. And so for me, I became hyper masculine on the inside, where I'm like, people don't realize, don't mess with me. I'm not the one to mess with. Because in my mind, I'm like, do you understand what I will do? What I can do? What I have done? And that's the part where it gets scary, where it's like, you have to remember. Think of Blueface. It's a very pretty man. So his whole life, he was thought of or looked at as soft instantly just because people do that to you. Oh, you look a certain way, so you're soft. You look soft. And it's like, okay, that's what you could think, but that don't mean I ain't got these hands still, right? That's the funny part of society. It's like, stop associating things with things that you deem as weak, because that then goes back to, you're basically saying there's something wrong with being feminine. And that's where most men are falling apart. That's why, again, it's easy to use their femininity to seduce women and to get what they want from them, to smell good, look good, feel good, be pretty, say all the things they want to say. But then a lot of them, unfortunately, fall back into distorted patriarchy when they go down into that level of saying like, oh man, yeah, I bust this chick down and this chick down, and da 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 da. Because now they're trying to mask and put on this front for something that these other ones are insecure about because they don't readily get. Do you understand how much of a weird cycle that is? So for me, being on the outside looking in, especially when I say look at the straight world is interesting because most of it is literally based on who can outpunk each other or who can out seduce each other. Now, I'm not saying that's not the gay world. Don't get it wrong. But there's not many of us going around trying to outpunk each other. There's like the whole, ooh, girl, they clocked you, or, they talk crap, but no one's actually trying to fight you. In the straight world, when dudes are trying to clock each other, or a masculine energy is trying to clock you, it's trying to fight you. And that's dangerous because it's like, at what point do we stop disassociating with ourselves because of looks? At what point do we stop disassociating with ourselves because of identity? Because again, identities are given. We get to choose who we are. When we're born, it's given to us. Someone says this is what you are, but that's given. That doesn't mean you have to receive it. You understand? That's why a lot of people can't conceptualize. You're supposed to be this. You can be whatever you want to be, baby. Let your heart fly. Just remember, identify with who you are because that's who you are. Don't identify with something else as opposition of because everyone's pushing you into that box. And now you feel you have to become something that you don't feel you want to represent or can represent. I always tell people, remember, your emotions and mind belong to you. Your body belongs to you. I don't care who you date. I don't care who you came out of. It belongs to you. Once you learn how to feed it, clothe it, and pay all the taxes on it, it belongs to you. So how you utilize it in this world is how you're going to receive energy. And so I say this as I feel like it's a bridge between the guy, he's all famous on TikTok right now. I'm not going to say famous, but being talked about. The dude, he's on one of the podcasts. I'm 6'4", I make over 100K, da, 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 da. And in his mind, he don't get it. He doesn't get it. I'm like, you're probably in the box of pretty boy, right? You're all these standards that most people say they would love to have, which is, again, those are novelties. That doesn't mean because you have it, you're the best. It just means it's something that some people desire because it's fun and it's nice to have. That's all it is, okay? So don't get caught up in the novelty of what somebody desires versus your identity of who you are. So because of this, he's a distorted, right? I call it distorted, wherein you see something that is good that's working for you, but because you don't understand the duality of its power, you ostracize yourself and then you demonize it because you don't respect that. You don't understand why people are coming to you or if that's the only reason they're coming to you. I get it. A lot of people, this is what women deal with, but I'm saying pretty men in particular because a lot of the times you guys are the ones who can change the narrative of conversation that other males are having. Because believe it or not, those same males are over there homosexualizing you and to the point of saying like, oh man, he look good, bro. Look at his body, bro. Look at, oh man, he can slam dunk, he can do this. Guys do it too. They just do it differently. They just talk about what you can do. Oh man, did you see that backflip he did? You see that thing? And while you're doing that backflip, they're looking at your body. Cut it out. It's true. They can. That's why they love talking about sports because all they want to say is, yeah, look at him. I wish I was him. Okay, this is the thing. When you have the floor, use it. And say, listen, bro, no, that's not how we're gonna talk about our queens, our empresses, our daughters, our children, right? We're not gonna do that. We're gonna respect them and understand that there's access. I have an access to them that you don't. But that doesn't mean that because I have access, I'm going to manipulate and disrespect them. Because that's the onus on you. This is something that you have to really pay attention to because it's dangerous. I know, it sounds condescending and it sounds rude, but people don't understand when you're on the other side of everyone's lust, and I'm not saying everybody wants me, but I'm saying there's a majority of people who do. When you have enough as a human being, if you have more than 10 or more than 20, that's a lot for some people. Some people out there got hundreds of people adoring them. They're not talking to all that people, but that much attention is a lot. So when you have that much attention on you, from 10 to 5 to thousands and hundreds, whatever, if you know how to operate within yourself, you're not going to manipulate it. You're not going to abuse it. If you don't know how to operate within yourself, you're going to go out there and abuse it. This is why you see a lot of athletes abusing it, right? They're tall, they're athletic, they have money. That's what the guys associate with it, but that's not the truth. It's the success that's attractive. It's the discipline that got you there that's attractive. And then, of course, unfortunately, some get there and abuse it because they have access to it. This is why it's important for young ladies and women and males and whoever else that falls into the realm of, I say feminine energy because I'm gay. Even if I'm a masculine, I'm still in the feminine energy because for my energy, it's about receiving, it's about giving, it's about understanding that I'm a nurturer. So if I know this about myself, I can't go around just dating everybody and making everybody fall in love and then dumping them because in my past, I was that guy. That creates karma and you don't want to create karma. So respect yourself, respect who you are, respect the power that you yield. All right? I hope that makes sense. Love ya. Mwah.